The fortress will not fall whilst there are men defending it. Hey, how's it going? My name is jackiefishhh and welcome back to another epic Rise of Mordor online battle. Today we're at the movie-sized Helms Deep, and as you can see it is much smaller than its other variants on the workshop. So this should be a very interesting battle to say the least, as this huge Uruk army descends upon the defenders, trying to overwhelm the Hornburg and secure it for themselves. Defending, we do have a mix of Gondorian militia kind of acting as Rohan, as well as the elves right here. These aren't the Galadriel elves, but because of the darkness and the shadows the mountains caused, I decided to go with a more brighter one so we can actually have a more of a cinematic battle more than anything else. The fortress itself obviously has the deeping wall out here, this really awesome ramp which has been created by a bridge being tilted on its side. I really like what he's done here, as it definitely does add to the battlefield. Then we have obviously the keep itself, and then finally the inner walls right here, which will hopefully never be taken, but who knows. And I love this little archway. Obviously, you know, ignore the Latin up there or whatever language it is. Let's ignore that for now. We also have Gandalf. Well, actually, we don't have Gandalf. We actually just have the cavalry force led by Éomer up here, ready to descend upon the fortress whenever the time comes. And I mean, there's so many Urukai. If we take a look at numbers, we can see we have 8,000 Uruks up against 3,600 defenders. And it's just going to be one hell of a cluster battle for sure. We are playing this live, obviously, because, you know, it just makes it much better. And I am spectating the battle as well. Let's just tell them to go, and let's just get this battle started. So if you want to be a part of these battles, be sure to join my Discord. And straight away we're going to be seeing the Orcs push up, and I imagine we'll be seeing the archer volley from these guys unloading. Yeah, you can already see the elves starting to shoot away as everyone else does start unloading. This is going to be the main death trap for the elves in this battle, is all of these archers already shooting out. They're just going to kill so many soldiers as they volley in. It's going to be actually pretty disgusting, I'm not going to lie, because the elves have so much damage with their archers. It's insane. And we have the Urukai pushed up to the wall. This is going to offer them actually a little bit of protection, because it's harder for the elves to shoot them. But they're also going to be able to use their ladders and stuff to get up on the wall. I say that it's easier for the elves, but the elves still manage to find the weak point in the armors, finding the gaps, and look at these Urukais just falling to the ground. They are going to form a defensive testudo here. Hopefully we'll avoid some of the arrow fire. And the ladders are being pushed up to the wall. Once the ladders are up here, it's going to be a hard fight. I mean, I can imagine they're going to secure these walls fairly quickly, just because of the sheer amount of soldiers they have. If we get a nice little bird's eye view of the battlefield, you can see the ladders have now made their way to the initial wall. The battering ram is waiting for its time. And there is also a unit in the mod which basically acts as a sapper unit, right? It goes ahead, it charges in and blows up. We tried to use it in this battle, but because the map is so goddamn small, it actually killed everything you see. Literally killed all of this stuff in one explosion because the map is so small. So we decided to go against that. I mean, it's really cool, and we'll probably end up using it in the proper version of the proper larger Helms Deep. But we decided for this battle, because everything is so small, we are just going to go with catapults and smash down the wall using catapults more than anything else. So Berserkers flying their way up, and this is dangerous. Leaving Berserkers just idly by to rack up kills is going to be very detrimental to the defenders, especially over here as well, as the fighting does continue on. They definitely need the archers from up here to just shoot down and just focus the enemy. Look at that, it's so cool. I love the way as well the elves like duck behind, take cover, and then push up. There's just so many archers, and I believe they also have it on the inner wall as well. They have some bardings, and they also have more elven archers. So really, the more the enemy push in, the better these archers are going to be, because they're just going to be able to rack up so many kills. At the moment, though, the fighting is fierce on the walls, and really it's the arrow fire coming up big as the oh my god, the crossbowmen for the Uruks just decimate this unit of peasantry right here, and along with the Berserkers, yeah, they are just running riot right now. And I think we're even going to see these guys just running. Yeah, they're fleeing. They've had enough as more and more Uruks do push up. A few arrows finding their mark, sending the Uruks down. Here we go. The trebuchets flying in now to kind of act as that sapper blowing up the wall. See some marks in the wall already. Because, I mean, trust me, it looked amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's probably one of the cooler things I've seen in Rise of Mordor so far. Having the sappers blow up the wall. However, it killed, I think it got something like 1,000 kills on it. And it was just ridiculous in the one we tried before with the actual proper sappers. So we just decided to go with the easier version with the catapults. So the elves are holding on the wall, trying to keep the Uruks at bay. I mean, the elves are really strong. They're few in number, but they're very, very elite. The artillery coming in as well. Some of them actually finding hits overhead, killing a few of these defenders right here. Not bad. But yeah, this wall is going to go down, and it's going to be up to the Gondor infantry. We also have some Pelargir and Marines here as well. And obviously the elven defense is right there. Ideally they need some like archers here, because once the wall does go down, which hopefully will be soon, I mean the strength of the wall must be 72, so it'll be going down in 1 or 2 more shots, right? Or if they actually find the proper hits. Oh, the rest of the walls are indestructible as well. I kind of like how he's done that to make it just more cinematic. So that's going to go down now as well, destroying some of them. It also allows the soldiers to constantly make their way down. And there we go, the wall has collapsed, killing Uruks, sending them flying. And here we go, the Uruks are going to be pouring through this gap, I imagine, very soon. And it's going to be up to the elves to keep them at bay. You can see them going into the breach, forming that triangle of death right here. And the Uruks are going to come flying forward through the gap itself. Fighting is still commencing on the wall as both sides do go back and forth. And there we go, the Uruks pouring forward, trying to make this breach count. Because if they can fin up this and take this part of the wall, then we're really going to see a lot of damage. Again, if we take a nice little glimpse out, we can see the full battle right here. The archers going back and forth. And the battering ram is now making its way up to the wall. Here we go, the archer fire. I mean, it's so hard as well because it's not like the archer fire can also turn its attention either, because they're so busy fighting on the walls already as the Uruks do just push up. And I love their shields as well. The Uruk shields, the Stormers, look so cool. They're like the proper ones which we use to push up the battering ram. I mean, this battle is just so epic. I mean, look at that right now. We have the wall being destroyed, Uruks pushing off everywhere, heavy infantry, the battering ram. Like, that is something special right there. And it's just so fun. Like, playing these battles with my Discord are always great because we always get such a cinematic feel. Because they know what I like in these battles, and they definitely do perform as we just continue on in the epic battle for Helms Deep. And I'm really happy people are continuing to make more and more mods, more and more battles for this, because the more we get, the more maps we get, the more exciting battles we get, hopefully the more units we'll get. Things are just going to get better and better from here. I mean, I'm definitely enjoying the way these elves are holding here. The elves are proving that they are not a force to be taken lightly. The gates have now gone down, and we're also going to be seeing so many of these stormers charging through this gate. We do have the elves formed up in a very nice shield wall right here. The burning oil is going to come down, and I imagine we're also going to see some arrow fire from here as well. And the archers are also going to be able to shoot down. I mean, the archers are working overtime right now, just picking away at all this infantry, trying to thin out the numbers for them. And we also have the archers as well in the keep, volleying down, taking these guys out over who are just waiting for their turn to push up. I mean, so much infantry have poured up now. And it does look like the Uruk-hai have actually managed to take the outer walls and are pushing down here, trying to make their way in. The elves are dispatching them with some ease, actually, as they do try, because they're not really in a good formation. They can't really use their numbers, whereas the elves can use their numbers down here as they try and get themselves off the wall. Over here as well, we see plenty of numbers fighting on. That's just an epic, epic thing right there, just seeing the soldiers. We also have the archers coming in as well. Or are they javelins? Oh, it's javelins. The javelins are definitely going to be finding their mark as we just have a brutal fight right here. So many of them going in. The pikemen pushing forward. The pikemen are going to be very hard to deal with, honestly. And they need to use the archers from up here. These archers just need to focus down. I'm pretty sure they are in range and just hit this battle right now. Look how cool that looks, man. That is just epic. Can I get something like that? Oh, baby, that looks good. Oh, that looks so awesome. As we just watch the battle unfold. If I cut in the sides. Oh, that is perfect right there. More and more soldiers on either side of the battlefield. We have the Hawks going ahead. Looks great. Looks really, really cool. I always love these cinematic feeling battles, especially with the Lord of the Rings music in the background. It's just so good. And I just can't wait, because I think they're heavily working on Rohan now, which will be very awesome as Rohan has done. I think Rohan is also a lot of people's favourite factions, so because that's a lot of people's favourite factions, I think, you know, once they're in the mod, you're really going to have a nice diversity of units, because you'll have Isengard, you'll have Rohan and Gondor, which will be, you know, so iconic. You'll have the elves with the sub-mod, and, you know, once they add in Mordor, you'll be really, really well off, because you'll have elves, you'll have orcs, you'll have Uruks, you'll have, you know, the Rohan, Gondor. You'll be really set for battles, and then they can start adding in the minor factions like the Dwarves of the Iron Hills, and start fleshing out the other Dwarven roster as well. You know, they can start fleshing out stuff, and just really improving it. Also, if you guys haven't seen it yet, if you're new to the channel, make sure to go back and check out my previous videos. The Battle of the Five Armies I did, and we made it very much like this, but in the movies. And it was just such an awesome battle. Everything panned out really well. It's probably one of the best battles I have done on my channel in a long time, so definitely worth checking that one out. And we also took a look at the work in progress trolls as well. We've done 2 videos on the work in progress trolls, which are very cool. And each time we do a video on them, they definitely do come along leaps and bounds. So how are they doing down here now? The orcs are making good ground. And I think the archers also are just peeking over the head and just volleying down here at the gatehouse. Yeah, you can see the archer fire coming in. Alright, it also looks like the archers are also covering the wall there. The deeping wall itself, though, I don't think it's actually being covered too heavily. I'm surprised these archers, I guess they can't shoot down there by the deeping wall. But it definitely looks like the elves are starting to be overwhelmed. There's a lot of soldiers over here, and the Uruk-hai are doing what they do best. They're using their numbers just to simply overwhelm the defending position. Oh, there we go. They're now starting to help out the deeping wall by the looks of it. Yeah, there we go. The Dunedain archers from Gondor. For some reason, the Dunedain are here. I guess they're here to represent maybe the forces of the peasants and Rohan and stuff. They're helping out a bit, shooting these arrows down. There's like more infantry is being pulled back now. There's actually spear infantry for the Galadriel elves. And what I really want to see is I want to see the two-handed elven swordsmen get stuck in. Because that would be really, really cool watching them just fight. I mean, at the moment, if we look at the balance of power, we can see that the elves are holding firm. They're losing numbers, but not really. Oh my god! The elves have only lost 200 men so far. That is insane. This battle could be over before it even gets stuck in. I mean, luckily the Uruk-hai have 6,000 soldiers left, but they're just struggling so much, and I guess it's down to all this arrow fire, right? It's just overwhelming. The crossbows maybe need to start focusing down the infantry and the archers and stuff, because at the moment the Uruk-hai are just getting slaughtered right now. Don't even stand a chance. Burning oil coming down as well. This fortress is holding. The Uruk-hai keeping the enemy at bay. You even have the pikemen being pushed up here as well, just to keep the fortress. I mean, this must be such a hard fortress for the attackers to take, just because, you know, it's built to be a fortress, right? You know, it's built to be defended by a couple hundred men, just to hold the walls and the keep and stuff. You know, this is what most castles were designed for, you know, to have, you know, a couple men defending the walls so they could defend against hundreds, if not thousands of other soldiers. What we really need right now is the sappers just to completely come in and devastate the attackers. They need something to break through here. They really, really do. Okay, more Uruk infantry is being sent into the fray. I mean, this is really the advantage of the Uruk-hai army, right? Is they just have the sheer numbers, and they also have a lot of quality in the Stormers. The Stormers are very, very good infantry, and they can go toe-to-toe probably with the elves. I mean, they just need to honestly just try and just keep on using their numbers. They're making great progress on the left-hand side. They just need the rest of the soldiers to keep on pushing off. It does look like these Uruk-hai are still fighting with some of the brave elves who are still stuck on the wall as well. Oh, and oh my god, the crossbow volley right there coming in. killing so many of these pikemen. Killing, what, 14 of them with one volley. That's not bad. It does look like that the crossbows of the orcs have now been pushed up and they're going to be hammering away. More infantry being engaged. The gate itself is proving very, very deadly. So many dead orcs here, but we're also seeing a lot of dead elves as well. This unit has lost a third of its troops so far. And now the pikemen are coming in as well. The pikemen should be able to kill these guys fairly effectively. I think we're just going to be seeing a lot more crossbows now being brought into the fight just to hammer away at the defenders. And they're definitely making a good set of attacking bonuses right here. Pushing up the stormers, pushing up the quality. Because if they can make one breach point right here, then they can basically envelop everything else in the deeping wall and continue on the pressure elsewhere. Yeah, you can see the crossbows coming in, hammering away at these defenders, hitting the lightly armoured units along with everyone else. Awesome, look at that with the Urukai flag up there as well. The battle is intense, and all the crossbow bolts flying in as well. Piercing the ranks of the defenders. Because once they lose this deeping wall, it's going to be very hard, and I imagine the ammunition is starting to dwindle. Maybe not. The Dunedain Archer is starting to dwindle. Oh, they have actually lost full ammunition on these two units of elves as well. They still have a couple more of them. They still have all of this ammunition. There's so many archers at the moment. Balance power of 5,000, still very, very even right now as the forces continue to push in. Honestly, maybe we should have kept the sappers. Maybe we'll have to do this battle again at some point and actually keep the sapper units. Because the sappers actually just killed everything. Much like, I guess they were like very devastating, much like they were in the movie, right? You know, they took Theoden and everyone else by surprise. At that point, you know, it'd be perfect now if we just have the sappers turn up and kill everything here. So maybe we'll have to redo it in like a couple of weeks' time with the sapper units. Maybe, you know, we're obviously going to have to redo this battle when they add in Rohan. Without a doubt. And then I think the battle will be much more even when they add in Rohan, because then we won't have to deal with, you know, really strong elven units. We do have some units back here as well. Does look like the wall has been, you know, trying to be re-secured. I think the orcs just need to continue to commit men. I mean, it's not like they're running low on soldiers. They still have plenty more, especially at the gatehouse as well. I mean, that looks beautiful as well. Gonna have to definitely take a screenshot right there of the battle, because that just looks spectacular. The archer fire is still coming in, though, focusing down these pikemen. It's gonna be disgusting to see how many kills the pikemen actually have. Or the archers actually have, sorry. I mean, look at that as well, the bodies. If this, you know, if Attila had physics of bodies piling up, it would just be ridiculous. You'd probably blockade the gate just with dead orcs. The archer fire still coming in here. Does look like they are starting to break here, and actually nice. They're going to be enveloping the elves right here. This is exactly what they need to have happen to actually break the defenses. Because if they can just surround this and, you know, make a breach point, an extra breach point in the armor, then they'll just overwhelm this. Because if they just need to get their numbers stuck into it, probably even pushing their crossbows onto the walls as well, which is what they're doing. Yeah, they're pushing their crossbows onto the walls now, and this is perfect. Because now the crossbows can shoot directly down onto the elves, and they'll kill them very quickly. Granted, they need to be careful because the archers up here will be shooting them. But as long as they can get a couple volleys off, they will decimate these elves who are currently engaged. Oh my god, look at that. The shields defending the pikemen. They are looking to make a breach point. The Urukai are done messing around now. They're pushing up with their best soldiers. And they want to break this. Yeah, the crossbows immediately forming. Oh, we've got some berserkers here as well. Crossbows on the wall as well. Yeah, if these crossbows can get here and just start piling bolts down onto the elven infantry. This is just a death trap. Look at that. How are you supposed to break this? I mean, they're still fighting the goddamn elves which are on the walls for so goddamn long. I'm amazed at this unit of elves. How many kills are they on? Only 180, which isn't anything too crazy. Let's look at some kills whilst we're waiting for more and more of a battle to unfold. I want to see, like, so these guys are on 180. What about these archers back here? What about this unit of archers right here? 105? 200, 300, I guess it's a lot, but it's nothing too crazy. It's not like, you know, 500 or anything like that. I'm actually quite surprised that we're not seeing more kills on these units. I mean, we're finally starting to see these guys die. We're finally starting to see more crossbow bolts coming in.
Our general is under attack.
How many? So there's still 4,000 Uruk, but we're starting to see the Elven number drop very, very quickly, honestly. And I think this is kind of a breaking point they need to start pushing up. Because if they can just simply break through this and then they can, kind of start attacking from multiple directions, we might see the defenses get destroyed. But I feel like the elves honestly aren't even going to be pushed back to the inner position right here, which again is really nicely crafted. MT's done a great job with this map. Yeah, I think next time we do this, when Rohan comes out, or maybe even before, we'll need to give the defenders a lot less units. Probably only give them like a third of what they have, just to make it a lot more even. Because, I mean, they also do have a ton of cavalry out here. The cavalry is making up, at least 400 soldiers here, which just aren't involved in the battle. But we definitely could have given the defenders a lot less units. But I mean, we've done this like 4 times to try and get a good battle. And this one, it's been a good battle. It's just not been very even. I think the defenders have this battle on lockdown. Next time, we'll have to learn. And this is always, good testing periods as well. Because whenever we do add the elves into battle, we'll always give them a handicap. But I feel like that should be the case, right? The elves are very, very strong. They're eternal. They've had their entire lives, thousands of years to train with a sword, so obviously they're going to be superior. We'll just have to give them a nice little bonus. So nice, the crossbowmen are actually down here as well, as more archers actually get pushed down here. So I believe these are elven swordsmen being committed to the battle, more of them being sent out. Crossbows volleying out. I'm surprised that we're not seeing more crossbows actually on the walls, because getting the crossbows on here will just allow them to shoot down. Maybe they're having some problems to actually achieve that. The Uruk's finally breaking through. You can start to see a nice little gap forming, and that's going to actually divide the Elven forces, rip them apart from side to side. That's going to be great, but I mean, at what cost? How many men, or how many Uruks have Isengard lost at this? Also, something I think I mentioned as well, you also have a forest back there, which is very cool. Really, really cool. The map itself, I mean, it just looks so nice. So let's go back to the front lines now, continue. I mean, just look how thin the units are now. I mean, next time maybe we'll give it a go at night time. It's just night time is so hard to see. I mean, already, because the Uruks are quite, dark as well, it's quite difficult to see them. That's why we decided to go with the Galadriel elves to make them more visible. We can always give it a go, and I'll just have to turn my contrast and brightness completely up. And we'll go for a proper cinematic battle. The Berserkers are a good unit to break through these elves, especially these elven archers as well, who have had to pull out their swords and get stuck into the battle. We're going to be seeing a lot of them come down, but there's a beautiful breach point right here. All they need to do and have happen is just break through here, get their archers round the back and just start shooting these guys. The elven numbers have dropped down dramatically now. They've lost over 1,000 soldiers now, but I don't know if it's just not going to be enough, I feel. Especially if this cavalry turns up as well. It's just going to be able to overwhelm the defenders. And honestly, this wall has just held. The archer fire has been relentless. Because obviously in the movie, the peasants were defending this, the royal guard of, I guess, peasants and royal guard of Rohan were defending the gate itself, so it was much easier, and the Uruk-hai did outclass them, but now they're fighting elves, and they obviously don't outclass the elves. They're trying to use their numbers to their advantage. They are finally starting to go down. There's also some of the Vineland guard as well here. Berserkers trying to break their way forward, but having a lot of trouble. God damn, the arrow fire is still coming in. It's just an endless shot of arrow fire right now. I mean, these guys are extremely bloody. I imagine that is from the crossbows. What are these crossbows doing as well? They're just sitting ducks right now, getting shot to pieces. More and more of the stormers breaking through. They just need that little push, honestly. The elves just proving their quality in today's battle. And I think this is definitely Elves OP. Also, going back to my previous point as well about talking about we looked at some trolls as well not so long ago. We'll definitely have to, when the trolls have better animations and stuff, we'll definitely have to add the trolls into these type of battles as well. Even though that is obviously not more accurate, like, you know, there were no trolls here. But it just looks so cool. And they're making really good progress on the troll units in Rise of Mordor. From my first video to my second one, they've kind of made them more like elephants now, to make them, you know, good shock units. They're adding in custom animations to the units now. And honestly, all they really need is just like a weapon, and I think the trolls themselves look really cool, because they're doing a great job with them. The unit themselves, I think in both my battles, got around about 50 to 60 kills. Obviously that needs to be turned up, but with the animations, once they do them, you know, that'll be much better, and they'll be able to do it. Because one of the problems that a lot of the other mods with individual characters suffer from, because the Attila works on a match combat system, so that units just match up one-on-one and fight each other. So it's very hard for when you make an Aragon or you make a Sauron to get them to get a lot of kills, because they're busy having to just fight one-on-one all the time. But they're making, you know, good progress with them, allowing these trolls basically just to like one-hit units, and also just to try and hit multiple people at once. And once they can get that down, I think they'll be much better off. Yeah, the siege battle. The numbers of the Uruk-hai have just been slaughtered by the Elves. Units are starting to rout as well. I think the end could definitely be nigh. As more and more soldiers get pushed back, more infantry pouring in. The artillery coming in as well. Finally, the artillery pushing in. I think this is a little bit too late now. I honestly needed this artillery a long time ago to try and soften up the defenders. Really did. The artillery is constantly bombarding the defenders. And oh my god, what is this? The cavalry making its way in. Aemir has turned up. Not that the defenders honestly need it whatsoever. The defenders are just slaughtering the Uruks. Too many elves, man. Too many elves. But we do have the Swan Knights and also the cavalry from the Men of Dale, who have come to the aid of the elves in this battle, continuing to be well. I mean, just look at the detail on these elves, on these Dalian units right now. Chainmail, plate, I love the under armor and also all the detail. So the cav is going to be pushing in here, and I imagine they're going to probably do the killing blow to the Uruks. Oh, I love this defense though. The Uruk-hai pikemen have formed up a nice little shield wall along this defensive position as they continue to push up. The cavalry going to be, I imagine, swooping around the city, trying to take out as many of these defenders. These Uruk pikemen as well are acting as a shield guard. As the cavalry just pour into a city, oh, that looks great. Are they going to charge directly onto pikes? This is going to be interesting to see. I mean, it's very hard for them to deal with. They're killing the catapults. Are we just going to see them diving straight into pikes? No, they're not. I think going around would be the best bet. Hitting these infantry. God, oh, the city has been set ablaze right here. And the Uruks are actually making a bit of ground now. I mean, I think it's a little bit too late, but they're actually making ground in a lot of these positions. Everywhere else, though, not so much. The cavalry is acting as a offensive force right now, actually getting a beautiful rear charge off here into the back of the Uruk-hai. That's going to hurt, but we also have some crossbows out here. The crossbows trying their best to kill these guys. It does look like the Uruk-hai general, though, is close to going down and breaking as the rest of the cavalry just continue to harass, killing a lot of his infantry. The end is definitely nigh. The infantry for the elves are just supreme here. It's actually insane. I did not expect it to be this one side of this battle, but hopefully you guys don't mind too much. We will obviously be doing this battle again at some point in the future. And now that we've done this, we will obviously make it a lot more balanced. I think having the sappers could be a really good kind of way to even up this engagement, as we get a cavalry charge coming directly into the rear of these pikemen. However, this unit of pikemen is going to be assembling around, trying to trap these cavalrymen in. You can already see these horses not really faring too well, being pushed into the abyss. More and more infantry coming in, and I imagine we'll be seeing the elves actually end up pushing their way out the fortress. I mean, this unit of elves have just held this entire battle. It's just insane how strong they are, because I knew the elves were good, but I didn't expect them to be this good. And I mean, the fortress obviously does help as well, having the defensive positions, having the crossover fire and everything. That must look pretty cool though, right there. I mean, so many dead Uruks. So many dead Uruks. I mean, Theoden knew what he was doing, right, when he decided to retreat back to the Hornburg. It's just insane. Just no ground has been made whatsoever. I mean, they took the walls fairly nicely. Like, once they took the walls, I was like, yeah, this is going to be a pretty good battle, you know, very close. Not one side going to take the advantage here. But once we got behind the walls and into them choke points, it was just a massacre. It really, really was. And the Uruk-hai just have nothing left right now. Literally, Ironville, nothing left whatsoever. So even though the fortress, you know, the deeping wall has been destroyed, and it's going to take a long time to repair that, honestly. You know, it was made in what? It was made in by the Numenorians, right? That looks so cool as well. You know, the fortress itself was made a long time, and I doubt Isengard have the resources to try and repair it. So Isengard have pretty much made this fortress inaccessible for a long time. So maybe when Sauron turns up with his big bad boy army of orcs, I mean, it has been a pretty fun battle though. Watching the Uruk-hai just getting absolutely slaughtered. I hate to say it, but it has exactly been what has happened. The cavalry is cleaning up as well. We see the Swan Knights out here. The Swan Knights are one of my favourite looking units. Dol Amroth in general just have such beautiful units. I mean, their swords as well. I think that's one of the things I like the most about them. The detail in the swords, because it's like an actual swan right there. And obviously the helmets as well. They also have a swan on the top of their helmet as well. Like, it's just so, like, that's amazing design right there. As the elves continue to push out to finishing up the battle, just recharging them. There's not really much they can do. Once the cavalry have dealt with these pikemen of Isengard, they can then turn their attention elsewhere and make their way up to the wall itself. I mean, there's hardly anyone left here as well. Yeah, there's a couple unit of Isengard units, and they're just all dying. The cavalry has just turned up, and I mean, not that the cavalry was ever needed in this battle. They are the final nail in the coffin, that is for sure. So yeah, next time we do this battle, probably keep the sappers just for pure entertainment value, and if it kind of fits with the battle, have maybe like 1/3 of the elves defending this, and if we can, also have Rohan. Because I mean, if we get Rohan, if they are finished with Rohan by the time we next do this, we could definitely have, you know, 1,000 Rohan soldiers and like just have 300 elves. You know, maybe have 3 units of elves to help out, you know, in the walls and stuff. You know, guard deep in wall. Instead of having the 2,000 elves we had today, because that just doesn't work. And I'm sure we'll be seeing a mass rout very, very soon. Seems to very much be the case in Attila. Yeah, all of these units are gone. These units are very close to be going. They've actually almost taken the goddamn capture point. They have actually taken the goddamn capture point, so the burning wall should stop now. Oh my god. That's just hilarious. It took them so long to take that capture point, and here we go. The end of the battle was nigh. The last 10 minutes of that engagement was just the inevitable doom of Isengard. But I mean, they definitely fought admirably, but the elves are just surrounding these guys. No Uruk-hai are going to survive, and I mean, who cares? The elves themselves will have their hands very bloodied in this battle. I mean, what's even left but this one unit right here of Uruk-hai infantry, who is some reason still here. I mean, yeah, they're routing now as well. The end is nigh. The cavalry is having a field day, and it's just this last unit to get run down by the remaining horses, who are just cutting down, making sure that Isengard will not be able to make their way to the final film. And there we have it. Their unit is gone. Oh, there's still a unit of pikemen over here as well. Still admirably pushing up. I can't fault them for trying to do this, you know. But there we have it, the battle is over, and I mean, that battle was just not even close. I don't mind it when stuff like this as well, like if battles aren't, you know, down to the wire, that's absolutely fine, you know. Sometimes battles aren't going to be super close, but just look at the kills for the forces of Isengard. They honestly just didn't stand a chance. Their crossbows did good, so maybe more crossbows could have helped out, but we just had way too many elves. Like, next time we know not to have this many, because look at them kills. 400 kills on this unit. I mean, some of these elves didn't even get stuck into the battle. They did lose a lot of their infantry, but they still had all of this left remaining. So I think next time we'll cut the elven army in half and make it a lot more even. Even the cavalry turning up and just cleaning up the kills. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. Make sure to drop a like and a comment if you did. Let me know what you want to see next on the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.